Good morning, folks. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the BradicalRadical Show. I'm your host, Bradley, and today we are finally finishing our Let's Play of Speer, the indie platforming game that no longer has any more to give. So we are on the fourth and final world, which introduces a lot of different things for us. For one, they got these, for lack of a better term, honey walls that will, of course, cause the spear to slowly slip and slide down. And as you already saw, they introduced different power gems to give us different power-ups to navigate. First one being the red gem that allows us to do the explodies. I will say that after completing the fourth world here, there are some extra levels that I will not be going through, just because I feel like I've had my fair share of the game. I've done all that I've wanted to with it. Definitely a fun game. I hate to call it your standard platformer, but it is kind of a standard platforming affair, which doesn't necessarily make it a bad game by any means, because it does everything well. The spear mechanic is very interesting because it forces you to think a little bit differently on how you're navigating the world. And of course, all the varying puzzles that they threw at us during our time with the game certainly stumped me a couple different times. Such as attempting to get that coin there and not, destroy myself. This is one of those levels where it broke my brain a little bit, just trying to get through it and also trying to do it correctly. Not sure if that's why I need the... I'm still not 100% convinced that the sponge was something that I absolutely needed there. I feel like I could have slid it down the wall and still shot the spear over. But, whatever. In here, of course, they're giving us multiple different power gems to navigate with. And another unfortunate death. And of course, the music of World 4 is phenomenal. So good. The music was one of the better points of this game. Which, again, not to say the actual gameplay was bad or anything, or the level design was bad, just the music was top-notch. If I was to throw a random number rating on the game, without taking a more in-depth look at it, probably a 7. 6 at the very lowest. Because it definitely never did anything too wrong. So probably a 7 or an 8, actually. Since, again, the music was phenomenal. The level design was very interesting. And of course, the puzzles certainly made me think several times over. And the puzzles definitely added a nice complexity to it, a nice bit of difficulty that kind of broke it up from the usual platformer. I did enjoy that. It was more of how do you navigate this small area to get to the goal rather than just side scroll all the way to the right to the flagpole. course, I could do without the game crashing as often as it did, but that's more than likely just my setup rather than the something on the fault of the game. I do remember being stuck on this level for a few moments as our brave little tater tot thinks about his next move and what he must do. Also, full disclosure, I was probably also watching a video or something during this, seeing as I did it without commentary. And there we go, we figured it out. We got there, our brain stopped being smooth and just grew 10 wrinkles that day. And here they introduced the following spikes, which, classic in a platformer. Also a pain in the neck, of course. Literally, if it falls on you. And there we try to desperately grab the sponge, but we figured it out. The sponges and the slidey walls definitely added a layer of complex timing to everything. That was a nice change of pace as well. Instead of simply just throwing myself repeatedly over and over again at the puzzle, I had to take a moment and actually think about what I was doing. Which you don't get all that much in platformers. You're usually able to just go kind of hog wild with it. And of course this one's gotta bring the sponge over. So that you're able to actually bounce up there. So another one of those that has a particular order of events you gotta complete the stage in. That I mess up a few times. And had to readjust the portal there so that I could actually, you know, hit the green switch. There you go. You figured it out. Well, of course, I screwed myself because I couldn't actually jump up there to grab it again, but, you know. Third time's charm. And we're getting there. Because then we have to, of course, actually give ourselves entrance, and we moved on to the next. Ah, right. This one, that required a bit of timing to get used to, and there I am again, messing up the jump by throwing the spear just too short. Yeah, these middle stage levels were quite difficult to master through, as they should have been, since, you know, it is the final level. You would expect the biggest challenge to be through these worlds. There I am, once again, breaking the game by launching too many spears into the wall and finding out that you can actually catch the rotating portal. And there we are, on to the next one. And as the name implies, you gotta bring the portal with you in order to actually proceed. And I actually decided to go back to grab the sponge so that I could get the wonderful coin with a 5 in it, which I'm still not sure what the deal with that is. Explain your secrets to me, mystery coin. And you're just too short. There you go. Come on. Reach, Mr. Potato Lad. There you go. You figured it out, you wonderful spud. And here we are into the last couple of levels that we shall speed through. Of course, the game's going to throw all its most difficult challenges at us. The last world being particularly difficult and taking me quite a while to figure out. This one wasn't terribly bad. You just had to deal with small spaces, of course. And we also have the orange power gem, which will create a sponge for you to bounce on. I remember this one being a little annoying, just figuring out the exact order as to hit the different switches there. But of course, we figured it out. This was a fun one, because it dealt with the momentum that the sponge would have whenever you actually toss it. And only 2 levels remain. Soon, we will have our prize of completing this game. First, we gotta deal with this annoying level that I still don't believe that I did correctly. Because, of course, you need to bring one of the portals over to the right-hand side so that you can get the power gem to scale upwards. But for the life of me, I could not find an easy way to shoot the dude in the middle so that he lowers his spikes. And you'll see the "do you want to skip this level" message come up quite a few times here. Because I was just fully stubborn and would not move on. You'll see it here in a moment, but I eventually found that you can kind of stand just barely on the edge and still chuck the, and not run into the spike, and chuck the item over across the gap. So still not entirely convinced that I did this correctly. I might have broke the game a little bit to get through this level, but this was definitely the hardest world. I'm still wondering if the idea was to shoot through the one portal so that the spear would lower into that guy. But of course, we figured it out and moved on to the last level, which was not nearly as difficult. Just a large room that you gotta, of course, move the portals around in so that you can blow up the one wall and hit the switch. We figured it out pretty quickly. And that was it for Speer. Of course, like I said, it did unlock a World 5 and the Time Attack, which I'm good. We shall not be exploring that fun with the game. I had a good time with it. Like I was saying, it's definitely either a 7 or a 8 out of 10. Perhaps I'll take a closer look into the game to figure out exactly what kind of score I would want to give it. But yeah, definitely a good time. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And thank you for watching this video. And as always, good night and joy be with you all.